This is the 2025 GMC Yukon Denali. Is it the ultimate full-size SUV? Hey everybody, it's Tom from Vehicle Visionary. I hope you're having a great day, and today I get to do something I've been wanting to do for a while, and that is to tell you about the changes to this refreshed 25 Yukon. I think you're going to like some of these changes. There's one in particular that I think is going to be way up there on people's list of things to check off that they didn't want from the previous design. Not a full redesign, but a refresh. Let's talk about what we have here. We are at Mike Morgan Buick GMC today. If you want to know more about this model, it's the only one they have in inventory at the moment. Check out the link in the description of the video. So we're going to start out here. We have a new headlight design, very different from what we've had in the past, but it looks more like what's on my GMC Sierra 2500, a little bit more of an aggressive look. This area comes further in, and let's see if we can show this to you real quick. Something else you're going to have is the animated headlights. So see what's happening right there? That's actually cooler than what mine does. What's up with that, GMC? My truck doesn't do it quite that neat. That's cool, but you can have that. We're going to find new grille designs as well, and obviously we're just going to show you what's here. Now you still have the same forward-facing camera right here. I'm surprised they didn't put the front camera washer on, but not here yet. The trucks have that. The Yukons don't. Other than that, you're basically going to have the same look here on the front end, but you do have the nice finish here. You're going to have a little bit of chrome in some different areas, some silver trim. I think that works. Even a little bit of gloss black down here. I think all of that's appropriately placed because this being the Denali trim level, well, you expect some elegance and some luxury. And we have a sensor right here, one of many all over the vehicle. You're going to have a lot of great driving aids, and I will show you exactly what those are when we get to the right place in the video. On this two-wheel drive version, obviously four-wheel drive is available. This is a two-wheel drive model. As our tire and wheel setup goes, 275 on the width, a 50 series sidewall wrapped around what I think are very nice looking gloss black 22-inch wheels. And here is our remote. You're not going to see any changes where that's concerned, but you'll still have remote start and the power tailgate and all that good stuff. Nice, sturdy remote. There is a key located inside if you ever need to pull that out in this area right here. So if you need to get in through the lock that's on the driver's side door, you can do that. And the exterior color on this model is white frost tint coat. We're going to have body color on our mirror caps, a little bit of gloss black down here. Turn signal indicators built in. They're heated, they're power adjustable. And let me do this, nothing unusual or new here, but they're also power folding. So I know that's something a lot of you like to see. We're gonna have a combination of some chrome and the body colored door handles. And if you're not familiar with that button right there, that's passive entry, not only on the front doors, also here on the rear. So for you parents, kind of like my nephew who's holding the camera, he has a little one. If he was going to come back here first, that'd be perfect because he can lock and unlock all four doors right there or on the front doors. We're also going to have our power assist steps. And just as been the case, let's see if we can get that to work for us. I'll use this door. I didn't unlock that one, or did I? There we go. I showed you the passive entry in action. That was intentional, wasn't it? There's our power assist steps. And one thing I'll try and remember to show you later in the video is that you can keep those deployed when you're washing your Yukon, or you can actually use that to prevent potential door dings because somebody could hit those before they hit the body depending on the height of their vehicle. Now, we're gonna see some other changes back here. Let's see what we've got going on here in the rear. Changes right here with the tail light design. What do you think about that? It is a completely different design, still going to be LED, just as our full LED headlights, but it's nice to see that GMC is thinking a little bit ahead and making some of these changes. Now, one thing I didn't talk about here, this is something you don't see very often, is what this button does right here. You know this opens the tailgate. What does that button right there do? Did you hear that? You can open the glass. So if for some reason you just needed to reach down inside real quick and grab something, whatever the case is, maybe you put something inside and you didn't want to open the entirety of the tailgate, the whole thing, well, you can still use this piece of glass right here, the rear glass, and open and close that. I do like the clean look back here with the lack of the exposed rear window wiper, but it is here. It's just concealed neatly away inside of the rear roof spoiler. And one thing that hasn't changed for 2024, you still have all of the same engine options. In this case, we're going to have the 6.2 liter naturally aspirated V8 that makes 420 horsepower and 460 pound-feet of torque. All of that is going to be mated to a 10-speed automatic transmission. And being such a large vehicle, let's work our way over to the window sticker here and we'll talk about what the MPGs are. Here's what we're going to have. I'll let Austin show you that as well. 15 city, 20 highway, 17 combined, and 5.9 gallons of gas per every 100 miles driven. Now, we'll go back around this way because I want to tell you about the gas tank size. A lot of people don't share this in their videos, and there's one thing I've been lacking on sharing with this as well that I'm going to share this time too. So, capless fuel fill, you're going to have a 24-gallon gas tank, and when you have a full tank, you will have a driving distance of 360 miles. And here's something that's all new, not having a power tailgate, but being able to walk up. Do you hear that beeping? I didn't even touch anything. Did you notice that? So now you can actually walk up to the tailgate and it will automatically open just like it did right there. And I don't know that I can get this to work the way I want it to, but there is one little trick that I want to show you right here as far as what happens if you walk up to the vehicle and you don't want it to do that. So let's see if it'll do it for me. It's not going to do it right now. But if you walk past, all you do is walk past and it beeps, just keep walking. It's not going to open. You actually have to stand there for a couple of seconds for that to happen. You'll find a spare tire underneath, and when properly equipped, a new towing number, 8,400 pounds. So let's take a look at what we have back here. All of this is going to be the same from the previous generation, but I do want to show you what all is here for those who may be shopping. Here is a little bit of space under here and your tools to change the tire if you ever need to. Nice to know you don't have that tire repair kit. Now, we have the controls right here to raise and lower the back seats, and then these lower the middle seats, but there is one little difference. So let's take a look at these real quick, get these to work for us here. Drop those down real fast. Not going down all the way, but we can fix that. You know how we do that? We just push the buttons for the middle seats, and then I can go ahead and finish lowering these all the way down. Now there is a trick that's different here. The front, these middle seats, the middle row right there, you're gonna have to manually put those back up. I can use the buttons right here to raise the rear seats back up. I say that and they're not cooperating. There we go. But when your cargo capacity is maximized, I'm gonna let Austin show you around there just a little bit. Cargo capacity 25.5 up to a pretty stout 122.8 cubic feet. And if you need to power something, you have your power outlet right here. Kind of nice to have that as far as that goes. There's a lot going on back here as far as the overall space goes, but let's get into the interior and talk about some of the other changes you're going to find. And tons of room for space as far as your passengers go in the middle and the third row, and you can configure that back and forth as far as that goes. Also going to have the panoramic sunroof up there. We'll go ahead and show that to you real quick. That front portion will open, and there's a nice power shade right here that can be drawn back and forth if it starts to get too hot or whatever the situation is. Then you can change that, close that off. Nice large armrests here on the door panels. They're huge. I like the fact that they're completely flat. I don't like vehicles that have that front area that kind of angles up a little bit. So nice to have that. Gonna have the silver finish on the trim, and on the door handle right there we'll also have the lock and unlock buttons. And going back to the door panels themselves down here, upper and lower door bins, tons of space, a lot of storage space throughout. We'll also find on the door sill right down here, we're going to find the Denali logo down there. Nice to have that. And as far as operating these seats go, you're going to have two different levers. First of all, that lever that's going to be on your right that has the seat on it, that allows you to move it back and forth like I'm doing right here. See that? So we can actually change the positioning of the seat to give rear seat passengers more leg room. But then that lever on your left that has ×2 on it, so what's going to happen when I do that ×2? There's one and there's two. That makes it very easy to hop right in. I like the size of the opening right here. There is a ton of room. So I'm going to put this in place right here, and we'll just do that let Austin get his seat out of the way, or I'll tell you what I'll do is I'll make it easier for him by using the lever right here, or the release. There's one, and there's the other. There's actually a couple of different ways to do that. Let's see if I can get this seat back up. The seat is all the way back, and you can see, yeah, it's a little tight here, but you know what? It's not the end of the world. I can live with that. Now, if this seat was reclined back, that'd be a different story. I'd be very uncomfortable, but it's not. You can move it up quite a bit. In fact, let me just do that real fast, just kind of show you in real time how easy this is to do. So there we go. There is the seat. That's going to be where it needs to be. Look at all that leg room. That's very realistic. And then over here, a couple of cup holders. Nice space, and there's going to be a USB port right there. Hopefully you can see that, but we do have quite a bit of space going on here. I like the headroom, and I love the fact that you have the air conditioning vent practically in the passenger's face. That's always good. There are some SUVs out there on the market, maybe not full size necessarily, but that have it way down here, so it takes longer to get to the passenger. This is the better design. And right here is another button, a switch. What exactly is that? Well, when I push that, here's what happens. Push that one more time, and the seat gets up and out of the way. How easy can that be? That way, if the middle seat passengers forget about the third row passengers, not a problem. And once again, conveniently placed air conditioning vents. Gonna have the hanger right here for the suits and the shirts and all that kind of stuff. Nice large armrests. I do still wish they were a little bit longer. And what do I mean by that? When they go up into this upright position, they should be as tall as the seat back. That way, you'd have really enough space to where your wrist isn't hanging off, at least for me. Somebody who doesn't have arms that are as long as mine, well, maybe not an issue. Now, if you go with the executive package, depending on trim level, there's gonna be a little bit more going on back here. You're gonna have the power seats. They'll be heated and ventilated. How about that for your middle row passengers? That is awesome. And speaking of that, we do have our air conditioning controls and everything back here. So we have everything for controlling fan speed, temperature, and then we have our heated seats only back here. But we'll also have some USB connectivity and another power outlet right there. So quite a bit going on here. And one thing I guarantee you, nobody's going to go thirsty, because there are literally cup holders everywhere you can look. I've never counted them up, but I guarantee you there's a ton. And how about that question that so many people ask in the comments without watching the video? What's the sticker price? Don't ever tell them, by the way. Leave them hanging and make them watch the video. In your case, you're going to know it's $86,430. So let's see what else we have here. We'll start over here on Austin's side. Nothing really new where that's concerned, but we will have obviously a nice large glove box right there. Plenty of room within that area. Large armrest and door bins over there, all those typical features and functionality. The only thing missing over there at this price point, you should have seat memory on the passenger side the way that we have on the driver's side. So before I grab the camera from Austin, I'm going to let him show you something here that I know a lot of you are going to love, and it's what's not right here anymore. What is that? The shifter. It's now here on the shifter column. Gone is the push button shifter. I can hear all the cheers. Everybody's excited about that. That was the most commonly complained about thing that I saw in my videos. So now we have a shifter that operates normally. You just pull it back, and in whatever direction you need to go, down into drive, you can hold it back to go into neutral or go into reverse. Now, let me grab the camera real quick, and while we're at it, there are some changes to the design of the dash area right here, and you can see that with the way the air conditioning vents are laid out around the infotainment screen, which is 16.8 inches, by the way. We'll get back to that shortly. Over here on the driver's side, you saw a little bit of this earlier. Well, I don't know if we showed it to you or not, but I showed you how these buttons work. So that's for controlling your side view mirrors. That's the button I used to fold those side view mirrors in. And of course, you know what else is here as far as your lock and unlock buttons and controls for your power windows. You can have a bunch of safety features here. If you're looking for how to turn off the auto stop start feature, there is how you do that. And you've got lane keeping assist, your traction control, some other things there. There's your parking brake and your controls for your headlights. Everything's there, and your drive mode selector. In fact, speaking of the drive mode selector, let's look through our driving modes. You can see that we have normal, we have sport, We're also going to have snow and ice. And then you're going to have your tow haul mode. So that's going to be a good thing. There's a lot of great things to talk about where that's concerned. We'll get there shortly. But I do want to show you the new look with your instrument display right here. A nice modern look. For those of you who are wondering what we're going to see in the future of the Sierra pickups when they receive a full redesign, which should come in the next couple of years, I imagine by the year 2027, this is some of what we're going to see. You can also see the changes to the steering wheel here, a different look with the layout or just the overall design of our steering wheel mounted controls. You're going to have that Denali logo there on the horn button, and then silver trim around everything. I think that's appropriate here as opposed to having chrome. Just looks right. Shifter paddles right here to work your way back and forth through the 10-speed automatic transmission, and you can still control volume on this side, behind or under that shifter paddle, and what you're listening to over on the other side. So now I'm going to hand that camera back to Austin. Let's focus in on the infotainment screen. I hope we're glare free. Does it look good to you? Okay, hopefully everybody can see that. 16.8 inches. That doesn't mean that it's more complicated than it used to be. It's still just as easy to use. In fact, I'm going to go up here. We're going to show you the different camera views. The same basic setup of what we've had before, just looks different. You're still going to have your front and rear camera views. When you see the two dots right there, that means there are two different views that you can select from. There's your overhead view. You could use that view to back up to a trailer and hitch on if you needed to, if you didn't have anybody to help you with that. We also have the cameras mounted in the side view mirrors, two different views, front and rear, as far as that goes. And then there's a better view if you're going to hook onto a trailer as far as that goes. So we'll get out of there. You're still going to have Apple CarPlay and Android Auto. Grayed out because I don't have anything paired. You wirelessly pair your smartphone, easy to deal with. There's the Play Store right there. Google Assistant is still going to be here. Well, new for here as far as the look goes, but I'm not going to demonstrate that by saying, hey, yeah, because I'd set off things in your houses. Austin has a Google Assistant at his house. I could prank him in a video sometime if he's watching it. Maybe I should do that. He's shaking his head no. But you can see what all is here. And all of your climate control buttons are located down here. I like that there's still physical controls, but for those of you who want to pretend like you're driving a Land Rover that has everything in the screen, well, guess what? You can also control all of that in the screen if you want to. I like the physical controls personally, but we're going to stick here in the screen for just a little bit longer and show you some of what is here. So if you want to test your lights, you've got your checklist and everything here. There's a lot going on with trailering, a lot of great new features. I'm going to talk more about that on the test drive, but I wanted to go here into settings and show you what's here so you can see everything. Vehicle connections, notifications, all of that good stuff is going to be here. System, if you need to do an update, there it is right there. You can make a lot of changes here as far as this model goes, but I want to show you what's all going to be here. If you want to change your audio settings, there you go. Easy to figure that out. I know we like to tune our radio to what we like to hear as far as the stereo goes. Teen driver mode, if I'm going to let Austin drive. Oh, he's not a teenager anymore. I forgot. Got to give him a hard time. He's my nephew in case you didn't know. But teen driver mode is there if you're going to let your teen drive your gigantic full-size SUV. And you can turn rear seat reminder on and off. You can use that for things, if you have something back there like a briefcase or something that you need, you don't want to forget that, an important file for a meeting, you can use that to help you to remember it. Buckle to drive. Do use your seatbelt when you're driving, but as far as us just driving around here on the lot, we don't need that on. And you do have your climate and air quality right there, but here's something I know a lot of you like to know about, your safety features, those driving aids. And you can go in and make changes to a lot of this, but here's what we're going to have. Forward collision warning, front pedestrian braking, intersection collision braking, adaptive cruise go notifier, side bicyclist alert, or somebody just walking for that matter, probably do the same thing, lane change alert, park assist with braking. And we're going to have rear cross traffic alert and rear pedestrian alert. So if you want to turn some of those on and off, you can do that right there. I know that's a big one for a lot of people as far as that goes. Now, notice where I just went. I don't know if you're paying attention right there, make sure everybody sees this. But if we go to comfort and convenience, number one, if you want to turn your chime volume down, here's where you do that. Or if you need to turn it up, maybe you're not hearing what you want to hear with that. But the main thing I wanted to show you is if your power tailgate isn't working back there, here's where you need to come. Make sure it is set to open only. If it's set to off, you can still open it, but you won't be able to use that feature I showed you earlier where I just stood back there and it sensed me and opened up. You can turn your rain sensing wipers on and off, and you can see what else is here. Remote mirror folding, that's nice to have, because here's the thing. When you use that feature, that means that when you lock the vehicle, the mirrors are automatically going to fold. When you unlock it, they're going to unfold. Always a nice thing to have as far as all of those features go. And I promised to show this to you earlier. We're going to go down here to power assist steps, and here is what we need to do. We're going to go to this second option. You need to select that, and if you want to leave them deployed, remember I talked about the advantages of doing that, or if you're washing your Yukon, you can do that. There's how you do it. And then obviously when you're ready to stow them again and have them just come in and out as they need to, depending on what the doors are doing, if they're open or closed, well, you're good to go on that. A lot of great things going on here. You've got seating position right here. If you want to have the seat automatically go back to where it needs to when the driver gets in with the remote, this is based on programming by the remote. You can turn that on or off. You can also have, when you open the door, the seat will move back. If this is turned on right here, the seat will move back and make it a little bit easier to get out. It's so much going on here that I'm not going to cover every little thing, but we'll see a few more things here. So you'll notice what I pushed right there. Here's where you're going to find things such as turning your child safety locks on and off. You can see your blind zone steering assist. That's part of your trailering package. That's going to help you out when you're driving down the road pulling a trailer. One of those great features. We also have power assist steps right there. So that's another place where you can go and turn those on and off, depending on what you need as far as that goes. And go back into there. And you do have a head-up display here. So instead of having the controls that used to be on the left-hand side of the dash to the left of the steering column, now they're going to be right here. There is a head-up display here. Very nice. You can control what's going on with that right there as far as that goes. And if you're going to use your heated or ventilated seats, we do have power seats here in the front, heated and ventilated. Here's where you turn those on. So we're going to turn that on for just a second. 3 zones of heated seats and 3 zones of ventilated seats. So you can see what all is there. So easy to deal with. I like that. Now, down here we do have some piano black finish, the gloss black that fingerprints up. I'm not going to do that, but that's concealing away a few things. There's your cup holders, and there is your wireless charging pad and a couple of USB options. So nice to have that as far as that goes for those who are wondering where those things are. I love the size of the lid for the center console. That doubles as an armrest. There's plenty of room there. That actually comes out far enough where my wrist isn't just hanging off like that. I like that. Maybe it's just because I can put my arm a little further back, but my truck has something similar to this in it, and I like that. Inside, no shortage of space. That's nothing new. Really no changes where that is concerned. But let me put this down right here. Whoops, wrong button. Here is the button. So I'm going to use this button and we're going to go back to the center console because I want to show you what's going on down here. Not a new feature, but you might have seen this in the past. You might not have seen this in the past. But if you have lazy rear seat passengers or middle seat passengers and they don't want to reach all the way up and get their drinks out, you could just take them back to them. I don't encourage you to do that. Make them work for it. But I like the space that this allows. You have a hidden compartment right there where you can store more things. So a nice feature that isn't new for this year, but I like to show that off. And we'll look at the upper console here real quick. One thing that hasn't changed is right here. If you go back to open your power tailgate and it's not opening, make sure that it's not set to off, because you can go 3/4, you can go full, whatever you want to do with that, you can. So this is the button I use to control the power shade, where that is and all that good stuff. You're going to have your rear view mirror right here, auto dimming, all that good stuff. Ultimately, those are the big changes. One thing you'll notice that is not here that used to be was the sunglass holder right there that used to be right there. There's also not one up here on the upper console. Tell me what your thoughts are with that Do you wish there was a sunglass holder here? That is one thing that is missing. One more thing I did want to show you as far as a difference here on the Denali trim level is the button to start and stop the engine. Different look there as well. What do you think about that? Just one of the little changes that GMC has made. All right, as we get out here on the test drive, one thing that has also changed, and I'm sure for some reason somebody could find benefit to this, but you can now leave the cameras on when you're driving. They used to go off at, I think it was 15 miles per hour. So I'm currently doing 27 miles per hour and they're still on. This is something that some of the Sierras have had for the last few years. I think as of the 2023 model year, and as of 2024 for the 2500s. Mine has that where I can just leave that on if I wanted to. I never do. But in case you were curious about that, I've had people ask about that in the past. So, a lot of great features for those of you who might tow a trailer, such as the steering assist that I talked about. What it's doing is sensing someone in your blind spot. If you happen to not see them, it gives you a pretty firm nudge back in the right direction, whichever direction that may be. You also have what's called transparent trailer view, which I think is something that's honestly misnamed, because all it is an external camera that goes on the trailer so you can see behind it, especially if you have an enclosed trailer. But those things that's kind of interesting. You also have your trailer tire alert, so you're going to know the air pressure in your tires on your trailer. There's a lot of really cool things going on where that's concerned. I don't know how many of you actually plan to pull a trailer with your Yukon, but being that you can now tow up to 8,400 pounds, boy, that came out strange, didn't it? 8,400 pounds. We're going to leave that tongue twist in there. But overall, everything here is the same besides that as far as the driving experience goes. Still plenty of horsepower. You can get down the road with absolutely no problem. You really feel in command because you have such a large on-road presence. And maybe this is due to the fact that my daily driver is a GMC 2500, but this doesn't feel like a big SUV to me. It's probably just because of what I'm used to driving. But even when I didn't have that truck and I had smaller vehicles over the last couple of years, it was still not an issue. I don't know what it is about it, but the way these Yukons drive, it just doesn't feel like you're driving a bus. So maybe that's just me. You need to drive it for yourself. That's why I talk about the fact that some of the things in these YouTube videos where we review these vehicles are very useful. I feel like the test drive is the least useful because of that very reason, but I can still give you the feedback on that. So the ride quality is very comfortable. I really enjoy that, and we're going to find out here real quickly how we can do turning radius wise and see if we can make this turn. Yeah, that's not too bad. I had to think a little bit to make sure I didn't run into that curb right there and move far enough forward, but you know what? Not too bad for a full-size SUV. Comfortable seats, comfortable ride quality, so much space. Obviously, one of the most common questions I receive is a no-brainer here. Can somebody over 6 feet tall fit? You better believe it. There is a ton of space. And something else I did not mention earlier in the video, you do have a power adjustable, tilt and telescopically adjustable steering wheel. Nothing out of the ordinary or new, but it's here. It's worth mentioning. The steering wheel is also comfortable. It's heated, a very enjoyable driving experience. Even in a situation where you have a lot of vehicles around, you live in a congested area, yeah, you're going to be fine. It gets around just fine. You've got all of the great safety features. If your family has grown to the point to where the midsize SUV is too small and you're stepping up to this and you're wondering, well, what is that going to be like as far as the adjustment goes? I don't think it's going to be a problem going from a midsize SUV to this full-size Yukon. So check it out, see what you think, drive it for yourself. That's why I say it's better to just drive these things for yourselves instead of just taking my word for it. But we'll try and pass on the best information we can as far as the overall experience. And I don't know if I said it earlier in the video, but you can leave any view on the screen that you want to. I'm going to let Austin select another view for us real quick because I need to keep my eyes on the road. But we'll let him select that. There you go. There's a cool view right there so you can see that. That is perfect. But you can see whatever you need to see on the screen, you can do that at any speed. So whether you're driving 15 miles an hour or 100 miles an hour, not that I recommend doing that, but boy, with this 6.2 liter under the hood, it's not very difficult to build up some speed. All right, tell me what you think about the 2025 GMC Yukon Denali. Is it the ultimate full-size SUV? And is it better than ever with the changes that have been made? Is there something you were hoping to see that you didn't see? Tell us about it in the comments. I look forward to hearing your feedback, reading what you have to say. I do want to say a special thanks to my friends here at Mike Morgan Buick GMC for loaning us this Yukon for the day so we could tell you all about it. I also want to say a special thanks to all of you for being kind enough to give us the opportunity to give you a vision for your next vehicle. If you enjoyed this video, make sure to hit the like button. That helps us out a lot. Make sure to subscribe so you don't miss any future videos, and share this video on your timelines on social media so other people can see it. If you'd like to learn about additional vehicles you may wish to consider purchasing, check out the videos or one of the videos that's on the screen right now, and I'll see you there.